Beyond the Broom with the NSA, sharing information, innovations, and market trends shaping the commercial cleaning industry. We sweep away the noise to bring you the insights that matter.
All right, we're rolling. Welcome to the NSA Beyond the Broom podcast. I'm your host, Ryan LeMire, along with my co-host, Debbie Wakefield, and today we're going to dive into the world of economics. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. How we doing today, Debbie?
Doing great, Ryan. Really looking forward to diving into the highlights you have for us.
Yeah, so just to kind of set the stage for everyone out there listening, we at the NSA put together a market commentary every month, looking at some of the key indicators that are driving the economy, kind of where we're at as a state of the economy, and then kind of taking a look at what the Federal Reserve thought process is and where they may be heading. Also taking a look at some of the inflation impacts on the input costs that are particular to our industry. That kind of gives an overview that can be shared. This presentation can be shared, with the members, with your customers, and kind of gives you talking points as to the current state of events, where pricing's going, how tariffs are impacting, why there's price increases, when there's price decreases, kind of all that. So that's kind of how we wanted to bring this podcast to light for this particular episode. So we'll be doing this once a month, just kind of highlighting everything that we talk about in the actual commentary.
That sounds good. Let's get nerdy. What are some of the key economic indicators that most economists analyze, Ryan?
Yeah, so in the United States, this just highlights a few. There's many, but some of the key points are taking a look at the unemployment rate, consumer confidence, your average hourly earnings, consumer price index, producer price index, and then U.S. import price index. So again, just keep in mind, this is as of now, so smile for the camera, right? All this data is just a snapshot in time, and it's ever changing.
What is the current status of the economic indicators?
So current indicators, if we're looking at the unemployment, because that's a major one. So in April, there was 177,000 jobs added, which is well above expectations of 135,000 jobs. The unemployment rate remained at 4.2, and the average working hours for all employees increased to 34.3. When you look at hourly earnings, because that's a major impact to all businesses, real average hour earnings for all employees increased by 1.4% from April 2024 to April 2025. So while the labor participation rate edged down to 62.5%, I think the average range for all Americans willing and able to work is typically around 64%. That's considered full unemployment. So the key here is that people are working harder, but not everyone's joining the party.
Well, I know we're working harder.
That we are. Kind of taking a look at prices over the past year. If you look at the consumer price index, that was up 2.3%. It's trending down. Reached its high point about 18 months ago, 12 to 18 months ago, where it was almost at 9%. So the good news is that it's been trending down over the past year. PPI, which is the producer price index, and measures the average changes in prices received by domestic producers for their output, was relatively flat. So that's another key indicator as to where pricing may be heading in the future. If we look at average hourly earnings, they rose by 6% or 6 cents in April 2025 to $36.06. So that's not huge, but hey, anything helps. So let's keep those pennies rolling.
6 cents. I'm not really sure what 6 cents more buys you today, but hey, every little bit helps.
It's very minimal, and it adds up quickly.
Well, Ryan, what are the recent trends in input costs impacting our industry?
Yeah, so some of the major ones, the price index of raw materials decreased slightly in April. However, the PPI for pulp and chemicals is ticked up during that same period. So that's something to keep an eye on for as far as inputs on pulp and chemicals, because we can see kind of the trend. If that goes up, that's where start seeing some price increases that may be passed on from the manufacturers to the consumers. Something to keep an eye on. Fuel and freight also have major implications on the bottom line of all businesses, and have significantly decreased over the past few months. So this has been a major driving force of the inflationary reversal. So that's why we're starting to see a lot of things come down. Core CPI is when you strip out oil, gas, and grocery and food. So that's trending down as well. So everything seems to be coming down or remaining relatively flat. The Federal Reserve's key interest rate there is to see everything hovering around that 2% annual inflation target.
All of that sounds like good news. I know it's moving slowly, but it seems like it's moving in the right direction to kind of give everybody a break, which is great. Moving forward, Ryan, what are the Federal Reserve future plans, and how might tariffs impact the economy? You know, that dreaded word, tariffs.
Yeah, so I'm not an economist. We're not economists here at the NSA. We're just looking at some of the data and giving points to watch out for, especially with the Federal Reserve. No one knows. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what they're going to do, but you can read between the lines and see where their thought process is. You know, the Federal Reserve met a couple weeks ago, and they kept the central bank's key interest rate in the range of 4.25 to 4.5%. That's leaving it unchanged since December 2024. It's been frustrating to watch. Some folks feel they need to be lowering more quickly, but with the tariffs in place, no one really knows what the inflationary impact will be. So it's almost like watching a slow motion race with no records being broken. The Fed, they're currently evaluating how tariffs could impact the economy before making any necessary changes. If tariffs do fuel inflation, the Fed could keep its key interest rates higher for longer, while a surge in unemployment could pressure the Fed to cut rates sooner. We haven't seen that happen yet. Like I mentioned previously, the employment rate's pretty full. Employment rate is low. It's below 5%. It's been over the past 18, 24 months ranging anywhere between 3.7 to 4.2. So unemployment, people are working. Not many jobs, not many companies are currently laying off people. We're starting to see some industries have future plans for layoffs, and mainly in the tech industry. But that's something, again, we'll need to keep an eye on. And as we get more data over the next coming months, that'll give an indication of where we're at. So the Fed will meet again next month. So that'll be a crucial reading. It'll take place on June 18th when they'll decide whether or not to hold rates, raise rates, or lower rates. So that's just, again, it's all right now, it's all rear view looking, but it can give an indication of what the future could hold. One other additional indicator I want to talk about is the 2, 10, and 30-year Treasury notes. The 10-year is currently around 4.6%. But if that goes higher, what that's going to mean is that it will basically raise borrowing costs for businesses, which will mean they're going to limit their business investments. So a lot of folks will hold off on making decisions as far as CapEx, capital expenditures, and kind of take a wait and see approach, which everyone seems to be doing at this point. But again, some of the people paint it as doom and gloom. No one really knows what's going to happen. At this point, interest rates seem to be coming, inflation seems to be coming down, full unemployment. So those are all good indicators of future business. But again, these tariffs, it's a wait and see approach. It's ever changing, and we'll see what happens.
Well, that is all some really good information. Like I said, even though it's all slow moving, it does at least feel like we're moving in the right direction. So good news for all. That's a wrap for today's NSA's Beyond the Broom podcast. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. And remember that economics doesn't have to be boring. It can be a laugh riot. Until next time, keep those wallets full and those spirits high. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Yep. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Beyond the broom.